zero commission fees or 40,000 more ETS to choose from, let's compare Trading 212 versus interactive brokers. Now in this video we're going to compare two brokers on 4 criteria. First up is fees. Second up is the features it has. Third is how secure is it. And 4, how user friendly is it. Now I'll be ranking them from 1 to 5 stars. Now first up is Trading 212, and one of its biggest pros is of course its zero fee investing, as long as you remain within euro nominated stocks. Now if you go for any other currency that is still available on Trading 212, you pay a 0.15% FX fee, which is of course a con, because even though it sounds small, trust me, it will add up over time. Now with that in mind, I'm going to rate Trading 212 4 out of 5 stars. Now let's move on to interactive brokers. Okay, so next up is interactive brokers, and this one has a little bit more depth to it. Now first up, we can cross out the column on the right because it's for US residents only, so for us Europeans it has no use. So next there are two options. You have fixed pricing and you have a pricing that changes on the amount of stocks. Now even though this one looks cheaper, at the bottom you get some extra fees that you have to account for. So whether it's cheaper or not, you have to calculate for yourself. It really depends on how much you trade, but there are two options. So let's now go for the fixed one, which is 0.005 per share per trade, with a minimum of $1. In this case it shows in dollars, and a maximum of 1% of the trade value. So this is more than Trading 212 has, but on the other hand the FX changes, so for different currency, is much lower at 0.002%, which is extremely low. And because of that, I'm still going to give this 3 out of 5 stars if you're looking for buying stocks in different currencies. Okay, so first up is Trading 212, and right off the bat you can see on the left hand side is a watch list, so you can watch stocks, even have your top winners and top losers shown, and in the middle on the right side you have your line graph, which you can set to a year, 3 months. Then of course the major event is the pies. Now we can create a pie. I'll create a custom pie. I'm going to add some stocks, let's say Apple, Microsoft, and Johnson & Johnson, Realty Income as well. And now we have created a pie. Now we can allocate how much funds we have, so it's at 40% to Realty Income, and let's decrease Johnson & Johnson and Microsoft, and then go next. Now we're going to give the pie a name. Now in this case it's just test to see how it works. Now create it. Now we have to add some funds to it. Now I'm going to add some 500 euros to it, deposit. And now we have funded the pie, and you can actually see a demographic of what is expected in 20 years time if we contribute a certain amount each month. So with the slider you can adjust it to see how much you will earn. Now let's set it to around 60 euros. That's fine. It's auto invest done. And now we have created a pie. Now this pie will allocate that 500 euro over the holdings. It takes a little bit of time before it does it, but trust me, it will do it. And now we have your own pie. Now you can put money into the pie and it will allocate according to what we said earlier. Now next up is most traded. So here you have an overview of stocks that you can choose. You have your user's choice, the thematic, global market. You even have a search function if you want to search up a certain ticker symbol. Let's do the VWCE, which is as the accumulating one. Now you can also buy the S&P 500, which I don't suggest buying if you've seen the fees section. Trading 212 has some more options and you can check it out in the rightmost menu. It also has some interest on cash and some share lending, which you can also get into. Okay, let's get into interactive brokers, and right off the bat you see a nice bar chart on the left hand side, and on the right side we have your favorites. Now let's see all the features it has, and it has so many. So we'll start with some general tools. Let's do some advanced market scanner. Now this is going to scan the entire market on certain criteria, parameters you can choose on the right top hand side. and it shows you a list. On the left side you see the ticker symbols and all that it has to it, which is so much. Now let's go to options tool. It also trades in options, option trader, and again, so many options you can choose from. You can really put out the perfect order if you want to and if you know how to. So let's close that and let's check out one more tool because there are too many to discuss. Let's go to the advanced options. Oh, that's the wrong one. Let's go to advanced and let's do the price history, for example. Let's open the price history and it's going to show you some price history of the thing that we had open. And it's so detailed. So one of the features of interactive brokers is it has so many details, so many priorities that you can choose from if you know what you're doing and if you're a professional. Now, if you're a beginner, let's stay until we see the user-friendly part to decide whether it's beginner user-friendly or not. Okay, so let's talk about securities of trading 212 and let's start with stocks. Now, trading 212 does not hold your stocks, they give it to some safeguards, and one of them being interactive brokers. Surprise, surprise. So interactive broker holds the shares so nothing will happen to it. Now, next up is your cash. Now, let's say one of the banks fails, then you are protected up to £120,000. And for that reason, I'm going to rate it 4 out of 5 stars. So, interactive broker security. Now, for us normal clients, it actually supports up to a maximum of $500,000. Now, with a cash sub limit of 250,000, which is more than trading 212. So for that reason, being a little bit more secure, I'm going to give it 4.5 out of 5 stars. Okay, now let's see how user-friendly trading 212 is. So we immediately go to the search function and we're going to search for the VWCE. Now, once we have opened it, we can scroll down to see some additional information. And right at the bottom, you can see it is also listed in some pies, which you can copy from the community if you don't want to make your own pies. Always do your research before doing so. Now, if you go back to the top, you can click onto the name for a little bit more extra information. But now let's go and buy some VWCE. Now I'm going to buy for 350 euros. So set it to 350 euros with the slider. And now we're going to review order. Now it shows the review order. Make sure that you see that the commission is totally free. And now we're going to place the order. And that's it. We've made an order. We've bought some VWCE. And if you go on the top on the left hand side to my investments, you can see at the bottom which stocks you own and how much you own of it. Now that was really easy. The user interface is very beginner friendly. It's very intuitive. So it's no problem starting off as a beginner, and I even highly recommend it using as a beginner. Now let's move on to interactive brokers. Okay, now let's get into the user-friendly list of interactive brokers. Now, same as with Trading 212, we're going to search up the VWCE on the top hand right corner. It's taking a little bit of time because there are so many more and so many stocks it has to go through because it has such a huge amount of ETFs and stocks to choose from. So it's indexing right now. And there we have it. You can see on the bottom, I'm going to choose the VWCE. To click on it, it's going to load up, it shows you a nice graph, and now we're going to buy it. So we go buy. It gives you some options. You go for the asking price, a bidding price, or you can go for a middle, so in between. Let's set it to 50 stocks, market order. And we're going to let it stay on day. Let's see what the advanced options. All right. Put it on middle, and now we're going to submit. Now, even though this was quite fast, it has a lot more options and it looks a lot scarier at first if you're beginning trying to put out an order. Now, I don't think that interactive brokers is beginner friendly, not at all. It's a very good broker if you know what you're doing, and if you don't, try sticking to the simpler brokers like Trading 212 or the Hero. Okay, before we dive into my personal choice of brokers, it's even more important to know what stocks and ETFs to buy, and I have a video above explaining a little bit more of that. Now, my personal choice. I started off with the hero and I then switched over to trading 212 and I loved the switch. I'm a really busy person and the auto invest with the pies together makes my life so much easier. Now that doesn't mean that trading 212 is a winner and you should go for it. I'm just saying that in my case it was a really awesome choice to switch. Now on the other hand, I also have an interactive broker account which I sometimes use for more complex trades. But trading 212 is the main one that I use. It's just automating my investments and I'm waiting for that magic to happen, which is called compound interest, also in the video above. Now let's go to the summary. Now, neither of these brokers are wrong. They are both amazing in their own ways, with interactive broker being really complex and really well thought of, and trading 212 is the more good looking, beginner friendly broker to start with. Now, if you like these kind of videos, I want to see more of that, make sure to subscribe and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.